Any insights there, Kristi, on your experience, like what are tools and or mental thought processes that can help through some of these situations?
Yeah, so I'll just preface with saying my answers are going to be really therapist-y, right? But that's why you brought me on. So I'm going to tell them to you that way, because a lot of things that we are brought up being trained to do have failed us in this time. Things like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or don't feel your feelings, just push forward. Like, that's not been an option right now, especially because it's been such an elongated season. Like, when we have a really hard week, it's a hard week. You can talk yourself through it and move on, but this has been months and months, and we know will still be months and months. And so there's a tightness or a suffocation that we can't run away from the emotional experience that we're having. So I want to say first, kind of a really basic introduction into grief, because this whole process is really about grief. It's grieving what you thought was going to happen. It's grieving what is going to happen to the animals. It's grieving your own financial well-being, a lot of dreams or vacations even. Personally, there's a lot of grief associated with this whole process. And so a lot of times when we talk about grief, there's like 5 different stages that we identify. And so you can feel really angry. You can bargain, which sometimes has a lot of guilt. Or if you have a higher being in your life, really feeling like, why did God do this? And if only this, or like some of that what ifs. You can be in a place of denial. You can be in a place of acceptance or depression and really succumbing to that. So all 5 of those are really common emotions in this process. And so the biggest tip that it's practical, but it's not going to necessarily make you feel better immediately, is feeling honestly what you're feeling. And I will just say, I tend to be like a let's go, let's move along faster, feel better kind of person. And I remember when I was in my own counseling work, I said to my therapist, we were talking about, I don't even know what, it was very early on. And I said, okay, now that I know that I'm, feeling some sort of way, what do I do about it? And she just kindly looked at me and said, I think we're just going to have to sit here for a little while, which at the time I hated. But in reality, there's a gift to that, because it goes against everything we've been taught. It's about honoring what's honest in ourselves and not avoiding it, not reframing it with a positive just to make ourselves feel better. Of course, there's things that we can do really practically and tangibly, things that what we might call coping strategies or self-support strategies, things like going for a walk with somebody that is maybe quarantining with you, a spouse or a kid or a neighbor that you are quarantining with. It could be painting, it could be cleaning, it could be gardening around your house. Like, it could be anything that that you love that brings you to the present moment. Because a lot of times all of our emotions, particularly the emotion of anxiety, which is incredibly heightened right now in this season, is all about the past, what did happen, or the future, what could potentially happen. And we can't control either of those. So really our power or our peace is in the present moment. So when I'm outside and I'm gardening and I feel the dirt between my hands and I'm putting the plant in, right in that moment, I'm okay. The world is okay. I'm at peace. All of my needs are met. And there's a peacefulness there that gets lost when we're panicked about all of the other things that we can't control. But right now in this moment, I can control this. So whether it's, you guys can totally apply it maybe more to your industry or the people maybe based on their hobbies or things that y'all love. But whatever that thing is that brings you a sense of peace, that is a practical thing that needs to be scheduled in consistently. Because sometimes we wait till we're like crying or really angry or really anxious to respond to ourselves. And that's a less helpful way to take care of ourselves. It's more helpful to say, every Monday I'm going for a run. Every Tuesday at 3 to 4 p.m. I'm playing with my kid. Whatever the thing is that makes you feel good and at peace, that needs to be scheduled in just like you'd schedule in a meeting at the office. Yeah.